Good morning YouTube, it's the Lofty Biker here. I've took a ride down to Ocean BMW Mororrad at Falmouth. I have been looking forward to riding this little bike for a while. I'm taking out the 2022 BMW G310 GS. I'll get me out when it's on and I'll show you the bike. Here we go. Good looking, isn't it? The G310 GS Rally. I wanted to ride this bike for ages, to be fair. It is a facelift. The original 310, G310, has been around a while. And last year, it was facelifted, so we know it's not really a proper BM made in Berlin. They're made abroad, the same places where all the scooters and everything's made, and quite a lot of the bits and pieces that go to make up the others. So what do we got? I'm feeling the throttle's a little bit snatchy, a little bit lumpy. The foot pegs fall to my legs, very comfortable. Very upright position, really is upright. It is a nice, comfy place to be. We're ticking along here at 28 or 29 mile an hour, quite comfortable. I'm actually in 5th gear, I never even realised. So it is a nice little machine. I'll tell you all about the instrument and the switch gear when we have the walk round. But I'm just going to give it a thrash to the top of the hill just to see how it goes. Typical single, fairly noisy. Let's give it a bit of rev. 4th gear. Now, as you know, I'm 6'5", 17 odd stone. We're in 6th gear, going up a very steep hill, and if we got up to 65 mile an hour without trying. I wouldn't have wanted to go any faster. In fact, we only briefly nudged it, but we comfortably did 60. It's fairly vibey, which is what you'd expect from a little single, but in general, not bad at all. I'm quite impressed actually. I do like the colour. We've got this rally finish. It's the blue. It's a deep blue. Very nice. I'm just going to back off this van. Anyway, I'm going to pull it over and give you a look round. I'll see you in a minute. Good morning YouTube. Here we are down at Marlow Harbour, Flushing. The 310. What do you think? It's quite a tall bike for a 300. It's a GS. And the sun's coming out special for us. Let's just get over the top of it. Right there. What do you think of that? Look at that for leg room. Loads of cutaway, plenty of room. Nice little hump in the seat. Comfy little bike, isn't it? What do you think? Okay, let's give you a walk round. I've got to say, they've kept the design, the GS design, lovely, isn't they? I'll show you the instruments in the dash. Okay, there's no posh TFT on this. This is just the old-fashioned LCD, but it's a nice one. So we've got all the idiot lights down here and down here. Fuel gauge. We've got a tachometer, which is a level one down there. Speedometer quite big, and we've got a gear indicator. Shall we switch it on? Here we go. I'll turn the starter. Reassuring little thrum. Give it a bit of a rev. Not too bad at all, what do you think? So what exactly we got? Adjustable brake levers, Kill switch, start stop, ignition. Over on this side we've got low beam, high beam, flasher, indicators, nice and easy, horn. Oh, weedy little horn, but not bad. So, to alter the bits and pieces on the clock, you need to press this button. So we've got range, average miles per gallon, average speed, the date, setup, you can probably alter bits and pieces, odo, trip 1, trip 2. I quite like it, got a dicky little screen. Good looking bike. Like I say, the Rally is the colour. It designates this blue with the red frames. Quite good looking. So let's tell you exactly what we've got. We've got the 2022 BMW G310 GS Rally. It's a 313cc rearward facing. That means, like I said, the exhaust is at the back and the fuel injection and everything's round the front. Very different. It's a 4-stroke double overhead cam single cylinder with a 4-valve head. Liquid cooled. We're running 34 brake horsepower at 9,250. That's going a bit, isn't it? 21 foot-pound at 7,500. Like I say, it's a fairly lofty seat for a small bike. It's an 835mm seat. Running 11 litres of fuel, but don't worry, you'll get plenty of mileage out of this. Light, not bad at all, 169 kilograms wet. On the front, we're running 41mm forks, upside downers. We're running Byberries. They look very tidy, don't they? Those are definitely a better brake than the ones I was using on the Himalayan Scram. What we got 300 on the front, 240 on the back. They look like radials. I tell you what, it's not bad, is it? You get quite a bit. Let's come round, change drive. Loads of suspension travel, of course. We got a rack on the back, pillion pegs. Like I say, you could easily take a pillion on this. We got a fairly sculpted seat with a hump on the back. So where was I? We got a central spring strut and spring. There it is. Adjustable for preload only, although it's well high at the moment. We've got a 6-speed box. We've got LED lights all the way round. Stainless exhaust. So what do you think? No spokes. We don't want no spokes. We don't need spokes. It's a commuter. What do you think? Good looking bike. I really like it. 5,435. So it's over the 5 grand. I don't know. 5 grand, 5.5 grand. It's not a lot of money, is it? I should imagine if you put your whatever it is, about 80 and 90 quid a week down, it'd be paid for in 3 years, wouldn't it? You know, you'd own it. There's something about it. There's just something about the bike. I really like it. Can you see those LEDs on the front? We haven't got a badge BMW. Anyway, I'm going to get my helmet on and give it another thrash. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, YouTube, welcome back. It's a fairly comfy place to be fair. I can feel like I'm doing 35 mile an hour down the hill here. 4th gear. I can feel like a vibey tingle right round where the hump is in the seat. It's just, yeah, you give it a bit more revs and it goes. It's around the sort of 4,000 to 5,000 mark, which is probably where you'd be most of the time. It does give you that vibey feeling. So we're going down the hill, comfortably holding 50 mile an hour. Not bad at all. I'll get it on the back lanes in a minute and I'll do a bit of a brake test and tell you a bit more about it. So we started in Penryn. Now this is the Truro Road. So when we get to Ponsanooth, I'll take a right up into the lanes. So for your general go to work on bike, which is what you're going to buy this bike, I would imagine this is going to be a commuter, a bit of a fun bike. very economical, very easy to ride, nice and tall, commands a good position on the road. Yeah, it does exactly what it's meant to do. It does what it says on the tin. It's not got oodles of power, but you don't need that to go to work. What you want is something that's going to be cheap, reliable, and do plenty of mileage to the gallon. Here we are back into a 30. There's no trouble doing 30. That's why these are such good bikes for going to work on, to be fair. You don't have the problem of having a big heavy bike to muscle around and mess about with. These are beautiful little bikes. I'm a massive fan of little bikes. I've ridden quite a few lately and I really do like them. There we go, the indicator switch falls to the thumb reasonable. So a bit of second gear. There's a fair amount of dive. The forks are fairly softly sprung. So here we are up the hill. It's fairly sure-footed. Bit of breakage for the bend. Yeah, scratching around these back lines, it's superb. It's a fairly noisy engine, but you have got the, and it's a funny one this is, you've got the exhaust downpipe right underneath your seat. The head's on back to front. I'll tell you a bit about that in a bit. So you do get that sort of exhaust note straight through underneath your seat. Yeah, the rear shock seems set fairly stiffer than the front one. I must admit, I can't believe they've not put heated grips on this as a commuter. I don't know whether it's going to suit the 17-year-old, 18, 21-year-old maybe, who's passed their 125 test and I want to get on something a little bit bigger. But I do think if you want a second bike to go to work on and save your pride and joy for the Sunday blast, don't think you'd be disappointed with this. Let's try an overtake. Yeah, no problem. Plus it's got another big advantage. You could filter on this. You could definitely filter on this. Let's just have a look. All clear. Straight on down here where the tractor's gone. We'll get past him in a sec. The gearbox is slick. We'll take another left. Skies are clear now. It's absolutely dumped it down with rain half an hour ago. We were lucky, we were coming from the west heading east, and it looked like the shower they had in Falmouth was going the same way we were coming, so we missed it altogether. So it's a slight incline down through the trees. We're doing 55. I'm getting no buffeting, no blast. Really nice. I'm just going to slow down. Okay, so 40 mile an hour. We're all clear. Let's try the back brake. I'll give that a good firm stab. The ABS is good. I had no trouble with skipping, hopping or anything. Yeah, that was nice, but there was quite a lot of lever travel. So here we go again, 40 odd mile an hour, nothing about, front brake. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. I think these brakes are similar sort of brakes to what was on the Enfield 411 Scram the other day, but they feel better than this package. I think they're Byberries. I'll have a look in a bit. I'm not exactly 100% sure, so I don't want to get it wrong. So here we go again, we're down the corner, we're all clear. By the way, the mirrors are decent. So up to 40, let's jam them both on. Yeah, that's, to be fair, I like the brakes. We've only got a single on the front and a single on the back, and for me there's no problem whatsoever with those brakes. So we'll head down to Mororrad. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? I'm surprised. Just drop it to 30. I'm surprised I've not seen more about, because they're not an expensive bike and they look good, you know. Oh, they've reduced this to a 20. That's nice and new. Thank you. 17 mile an hour. There's a sign there that says 30. A sign there that says you're doing over 20. So he's the proper 20 mile an hour sign. So he wasn't really speeding. It was just a bit of a preempted sign. Anyway, don't really matter, does it there? We was only doing 24 mile an hour anyway. And it doesn't complain. There's no complaints from this engine pulling 20 mile an hour in third. What are we now? Here we go. 23 mile an hour in third gear. No complaints. We'll give it a bit of a razz up there in a sec. See, there it is. It's a bit, there's not a lot of dampening. Quite springy. Oh, I've stalled it. Just let a bit of air in the helmet. Yeah, the indicator switch is lovely. Pass light works okay. Yeah, the lights are fine. Nice comfy place to be. Slow manoeuvres. Balance against the back brake. Yeah, you could take anybody on in a slow riding competition on this. You've got lovely tall wide bars and a nice back brake feel. I'll just let this van come through. I'll follow him. There you go, thank you. Just close the visor off. So we'll have a razz up this hill. We're still in the, well, we've gone from a 20, we're in the 30. So there we are, 30 mile an hour up the hill. We're in third gear. Easy peasy. I reckon you could even commute on this with a pillion. I don't think you'd have any problem at all. This engine's got quite a bit of go in it. Here we are, National, clear behind. It's a steeper hill than it looks, this. Yeah. I do like this bike. I would say there's not a lot of dampening on the front or the rear. It's a fairly bouncy ride with my big body on it. It holds the line really surely. I'll tell you what the tyres are when I stop. Take a left here. Have you noticed how green the trees have gone? They've all gone green overnight. Isn't it lovely? Summer's coming. There we are. We're away again. I don't think it'd be too bad on a dual carriageway holding 60. But to be fair, I think A and B roads is where this boy's at. And if that's basically what your commute consists of, as A and B roads, I don't think you'd be disappointed with this. Just to let you know, this bike has been running. Eva did say I could give it the guns if I wished. Give it a bit of thrash. It's been on demo for a while now. They've been using it for people who need a service bike and whatever, and if people want to take it out, of course. So don't worry if I'm giving it a bit more thrash than I normally do with a new bike. Well, there's one thing. After riding the Himalayan Scram and now riding the G310 GS, I'm really excited about riding the KTM 390 Adventure. This has got more go in it and far better brakes than the Royal Enfield. So I don't know about the KTM, but I can't wait to get my hands on one of those and ride it. As I say, it's a fairly bouncy ride on here, but it does hold the line well. There's no problem with that. I don't know what the reliability is like. I don't know. I only know one person who's got one. A chap who lives by me, Paul, Big Paul. He bought one of the last model. He said he couldn't justify spending about an extra 700 quid just because it was a 2021 model over a 2020 model, and the updates wasn't that vast. So that's fair comment, to be honest. Sometimes it is better to buy an outgoing model than a current up and coming one, because often you often find, especially with BMW, the actual improvements they make are generally incremental, not monumental. And I've had these 310s for a while because they was making the engines for the scooters the same. I think the same firm who makes the scooter engines makes these. I'm not 100% certain who they are. But would I buy one of these? Yeah, I would. If I needed a motorbike to go to work on, have a bit of fun on, scratch around on, I could even go touring on this. Just chuck some, there's a rack on the back, put a top box on the back, chuck what's his name, a roll bag on the back. I'd go touring on this. Solo, of course. Wouldn't be no good two-up. It's not a two-up bike. But like I said, if you're commuting, you could put somebody on the back and give them a lift to work. That would work. Let's just have a look, see if there's any room to get by. Yeah, we're clear. Plenty of road, plenty of room. Yeah, it's good. Look at this. We're doing 55, 60 in a national. Like I say, if you was out with the lads, realistically, or the lasses, realistically, would you be going any faster around the B roads than 55, 60? I don't think so. And the other thing is, when I was stopping for fuel in the afternoon and you're doing 80 odd to the gallon, you won't be. Yeah, well, there you go. Down the junction, I've got to take a left here, drop down into Penryn. So, what do you think? Trust me, if you're looking for a lightweight, this is worth a look. Anyway, if you have enjoyed it and you've liked watching the video, click on the subscribe button, ding the like, ding the bell, whatever you like. Ask me a question, I'll do my best to answer it. But I really would like one of these as a long-term review bike, something you could have for about 3 or 4 weeks, just to get used to living with it, to find out what it was like. Because I'm impressed, actually. I know I say that about most bikes. I like that. It's hard to buy a bad bike nowadays. It's buying the bike for your circumstance. So if this fits your circumstance, don't be put off buying one of these. I should imagine the servicing's not too bad. It's not like a 1200 or a 1000cc bike. It's only a little 310. It's going to be a bit of an oil change. Anyway, as I come down the main road, I'm going to say this is the Lofty Biker saying ta-da for now. Ta-da. I've got to take it back to Eva at Ocean now. I don't really want to take it back. I'd love to go and razz round on this today. Anyway, see you soon.